The universe has something important to tell you today. There are times when everything seems hazy, confusing, and reason mixes with emotion in an almost imperceptible way. It is in these moments that the universe approaches silently, not to shout answers, but to whisper directions. Today he calls you to look beyond what is visible, to see with your heart what is happening with that person who, even far away, remains deeply connected to you. Something inside that person has changed. It may not be visible to outsiders, but you feel it. It's like she's somewhere else, even though she's in the same world. Seemingly distant, perhaps even cold, she is waging a silent battle, not with you, but with herself. And the universe sees this clearly. It's not just about indecision or common doubts. She is faced with something greater, something that goes beyond what can be explained with simple words. What this person feels for you is not superficial, nor fleeting, but at this moment they are on the verge of making a definitive decision, driven by an emotion that over time may lose its meaning. And the universe is blindly trying to prevent this from happening. This person is surrounded by an energy that you cannot control, but you can perceive. A kind of deep silence, a dive into oneself. Her body may be present in everyday life, but her mind and soul wander in unknown territories. It's as if he were trying to understand his own existence. And within this process, your presence, even from a distance, continues to be part of this equation. What is happening now is not simple confusion. She is being touched by forces that escape logic, by internal pressures that drive her to see beyond the surface. And even though it may seem like she's pulling away, what she's actually doing is looking for meaning in what she feels for you. She wants to understand where this bond comes from, because she can't erase you from her memory, nor silence what she feels. Perhaps you have noticed changes in her behavior, hesitation, closure, a silence that was not there before. But what's behind it isn't disinterest, it's the weight of something bigger, the recognition that what exists between you can't be measured by the same rules she used to apply to other connections. This person has always found it easy to close cycles, to push away those who no longer make sense, but with you, something prevents them from doing the same. It's as if the universe is placing little signs in her path, reminding her that this connection is not ordinary, that there is something there that deserves to be understood before being dismissed. She is trying to separate your physical presence from your energy, and in the process discovers that your energy remains even when you are not around. It intrigues her, it moves her, and more than anything, it touches her on a level so deep that no other relationship has been able to reach. This spiritual introspection forces her to look within herself. She is discovering that you are not just someone who crossed her path, but someone who awakened something that had been dormant for a long time. The desire to connect with what is real, with what is eternal, with what is invisible to the eyes, but screaming to the soul. This connection has made her see life from a different angle. And the universe is intensifying this because it knows that if this person made decisions based only on what they see, they could miss something that was sent exactly to help them evolve. Maybe she won't tell you anything, maybe she won't even show it, but there's a world happening inside her, and that world has you as its gravitational center. That's why you feel her presence even in the silences. That's why sometimes her name pops into your mind out of nowhere, because even without words her energy calls you. If the universe is making you feel all this so intensely, it is not by chance. It is because somehow you are also being guided to not let this bond be lost in distraction or fatigue. There is a silent call for you to remain present, not necessarily with actions, but with awareness, with clarity, with faith. This person is at a critical point and the universe is speaking to you because you are part of their healing, even if they haven't told you. As this person walks inside themselves, a part of them begins to realize that you are not like others. This may not be clear to her yet, or maybe it is, but she tries to resist. The fact is that there is something in you that escapes the rational control that she has always tried to maintain over her own feelings. And that is precisely what destabilizes it. It's not that she doesn't know what she feels, it's that what she feels challenges everything she thought she understood about connections, relationships, and even love. At your side, or even physically far from you, she perceives a different restlessness, a force that pushes her inward and upward at the same time. A force that did not come to comfort her, but to awaken her. This person is used to being certain, to making decisions that follow logic. But now, for the first time in a long time, she is faced with something she can neither measure nor classify. You represent that exception. Something the universe has placed in her life to break old patterns. And that, while beautiful, is scary. She has already tried to fit you into the same categories she has used in the past. Passions, intense affections, temporary ties. He tried to rationalize the signs, but none of them fit. Because the energy that exists between you is unparalleled by anything she has ever experienced. It's not something that can be explained, it's something that can be felt. And that's why she hesitates, retreats, goes back, not because she doesn't feel, but because she feels too much. The universe wants you to understand this. Let her know that even in the moments when she seems absent, there is a deep process happening, a process that she may not be able to put into words, but that reveals itself in the details, in the way he thinks about you without wanting to, in the dreams in which your image appears, in the feelings that arise when he least expects it. She is being visited by a new clarity, not in the realm of reason, but in that of the soul. Maybe she never told you directly, maybe she never will. But what this person feels goes far beyond what they show. The layers, fears, and blocks that have been created throughout life are now being confronted by something that did not come to hurt you, but to heal you. You represent this possibility of emotional redemption for her, and that is transformative. Have you ever felt like there are times when she connects with you without even looking for you? As if something inside her is calling you, even if silently? It is because this is really happening. There is an invisible thread between you that continues to pulse even when communication fails. And that's why the universe insists, this connection is not common. She is being tested from within, tested to recognize the difference between passion and depth, between attachment and surrender. And even though she is trying to act cautiously, there is a true desire to understand why, among all the people, it was you who remained. It was you who made her think twice before ending the cycle, as she always did. This is unprecedented, and this news is causing a spiritual awakening. When trying to understand what is happening, she looks for answers in different places. It could be in spirituality, in art, in introspection. She is trying to decipher something that deep down can only be felt. And the only way to do that is by going with the flow. Therefore, the universe asks for patience, because she is in process, because there is something being reorganized within her, which needs time to reveal itself clearly. The most curious thing is that while this is happening, she also begins to recognize something rare in you, the ability to understand her without pressuring her, to feel her even in silence, to keep the connection alive without needing guarantees. You have been a reflection of what she wants to achieve, a fearless surrender, a love without control. Little by little, this person realizes that you are not there to repeat old patterns, that you do not demand, do not hold, do not charge, that your presence is light even when it carries depth. This is rare. So rare that deep down she fears losing it, because she knows she won't find it again easily. That's why she backs off, that's why she sometimes keeps quiet, not because she doesn't care, but because she needs to make sure she's ready to deal with something so real. She doesn't want to hurt you, she doesn't want to promise you something she can't fulfill, but she also doesn't want to let you go, because she knows, even without understanding how, that the love between you is not something common. And the universe confirms, it's not true. It is at this point in the journey that this person begins to realize that no matter how much they try to move away, there is something in you that remains. A memory, maybe an energy, for sure. Something she feels even when she turns her face away, even when she tries to go in another direction. True love has this characteristic: it doesn't disappear. It goes silent for a while, but it's still there. The universe wants you to understand that this person's silence does not mean absence. It is often a necessary space for her to reorganize everything she feels. The connection between you is intense, and with intensity comes responsibility. She knows this, and precisely because she recognizes the impact you have on her life, she prefers to walk away when she feels she is not ready to live up to the challenge. But this distancing is not denial, it is preparation. She is revisiting every moment, every exchange, every look she had with you. She is trying to identify when this stopped being something temporary and became part of her life on a deeper level. It is in this process that she begins to understand that you are not just a special encounter, but a turning point, a presence that forces her to be honest with what she feels, even if for now only internally. This honesty is not easy for her. In other relationships, she may have managed to camouflage doubts, hide feelings, and move forward, even with a heavy heart. But it doesn't work that way with you. The energetic presence you carry shakes everything she thought she knew about loving and being loved. It's as if, upon meeting you, she had found a truer version of herself and now needed to relearn how to deal with this new version. You may not see it from the outside, you may even feel forgotten or neglected, but in fact she is getting closer and closer from the inside. She is beginning to see you with the eyes of the spirit and not just the mind. And that changes everything. The universe shows that this person is being guided to recognize that what exists between you is a spiritual connection, not based on promises, but on presence, not sustained by words, but by an energy that runs through the days, the absences, the fears. And the more she tries to compare this connection with what she experienced before, the more she realizes her mistake. There is no possible comparison. Other people passed through her life, some left marks, others just lessons, but none caused this type of reflection, this desire to grow, to change, to be better. You awakened in her a movement that she still doesn't know how to name, but that she feels in every cell. The truth is that this person did think about moving away for good, not out of malice, but because the love they feel for you exposes them. She fears not measuring up, she fears failing, she fears not being able to live up to what you deserve. And as much as pride makes her seem indifferent, inside there is a constant conflict between the fear of losing you and the fear of losing herself within the relationship. But something has changed recently. She began to realize that even if she tried to leave, something of you would remain in her. And that perhaps this presence is not a prison, but a reminder that it is possible to truly love, that there is a place where she can be who she is, without masks, without trying to please, without fear of being rejected. This realization is powerful because it forces her to reconsider, to look at herself again. Not with eyes that judge, but with eyes that recognize. She is beginning to understand that what she feels for you is not a whim, nor a deviation from the path. It is the path itself. And the universe is working behind the scenes so that she understands this clearly, so that she sees without distortions that you did not come to repeat a pattern, but to break with it, that you represent a new beginning and not a threat. So even though the distance still exists, something is getting closer. Something silent but true, a desire to rebuild, to start over, to do things differently. She is learning that love is not about dominating or understanding everything immediately, but about allowing yourself to feel with courage and truth. You, in turn, also feel all of this, and it is no wonder, because this connection, more than mutual, is mirrored. You see each other, and the universe is making this increasingly evident. There is something that goes beyond what can be said. It is a language that does not pass through the mouth, but through the senses. And this is how you have been communicating, even during periods when contact seems to have ceased. It doesn't matter the physical distance, nor the silence. The energy between you continues to pulse with a force that neither of you can ignore. She feels it. Even when you try to turn your attention away, even when you are busy with other things or other people, there is something inside you that calls you back inward. A feeling that appears in dreams, in random thoughts, in songs, phrases, aromas, small details of everyday life that, without explanation, take her back to you, and you feel it too. You know when a name comes out of nowhere? When the feeling that the other person is thinking about you invades your body for no apparent reason? This is not imagination, it is energy exchanging signals. The universe uses these subtleties to remind you that this connection was not created by chance. So even if they don't speak, even if there are no visible declarations or certainties, this person is deeply connected to you and is feeling everything. You are slowly discovering that your presence goes beyond the physical, that there is something in your essence that transforms her, and this is too rare to be ignored. She has often hesitated to reach out to you, perhaps out of pride, perhaps out of fear of appearing vulnerable, but also because she is trying to figure out how to deal with all of this. She no longer wants to act automatically, she doesn't want to repeat mistakes. She is learning to respect time, her own process, and to recognize that this time love demands more of her than usual. She has tried to rationalize, compare, deny, but none of these strategies have been enough to turn off what she feels. And within her, something begins to consolidate. The awareness that you are present in a way that does not fade over time. The truth is, she misses you, even when she tries to convince herself otherwise. That's why the universe is speaking to you now, because maybe you're about to disbelieve. Maybe you think she doesn't feel it, that she's already forgotten you, that you're alone in this story, but you're not. What happens is that spiritual time is not the same as human time, and she is being led to a type of clarity that is only possible after the soul silences the ego. For that person, you are a point of reconnection, a mirror that forces them to really look at themselves. And this requires courage because not everyone is prepared to face what they feel when they see themselves reflected in others. But she's getting there. She is beginning to understand that love does not require perfection. It requires truth. Maybe you've already experienced intense moments together, moments when everything seemed to align, but suddenly the connection disappeared, as if something slipped through your fingers. This happens when the energy is greater than the maturity to sustain it. And that's exactly what the universe is healing right now. It is leading you to a point where connection can be experienced with awareness and not just impulse. It is teaching that true love is not made of explosions, but of constancy, presence, and mutual acceptance. This person is learning this now. She is beginning to realize that the intensity between you doesn't have to be unstable, that it is possible to create something solid, even with depth. But for that, she needs to trust herself, the feeling, and the journey that has been led from the beginning by something much bigger. She is receiving signs, dreams, intuitions, sensations that make her notice you even from afar. And each of these signs has a purpose, to awaken the memory of her soul, reminding her that this story did not start now, that you are meeting again, that there is something ancestral and silent connecting you since long before your first meeting. You feel it too. And that's why you're still here reading this, because this story has a path to follow, even if it hasn't fully revealed itself yet.